You have big dreams. You can see yourself succeeding. You know exactly what you want to achieve. You see others doing it, and you think, I could do that, maybe even better. But when the time comes to actually start, you say, tomorrow. You scroll your phone. You watch one more video. You plan a little more. If that's you, ambitious but lazy, full of ideas but empty of action, then this story will change everything. Because once there was a man exactly like you, until one encounter revealed the brutal truth that set him free. Stay with me. In a bustling city, in a small apartment on the 5th floor, lived a 27-year-old man named Daniel. Daniel was different from those around him. While his friends worked regular jobs without complaining, Daniel had grand visions. He wanted to build a business, write a book, get in shape, learn new skills, change the world. His wall was covered with sticky notes, goals, plans, timelines, motivational quotes. His bookshelf overflowed with books about success, discipline, and achievement. Every title promised transformation. Every page he read filled him with excitement. But there was one problem. Daniel never actually did anything. He would wake up each morning with fire in his heart, telling himself, today is the day, today I start. But by noon, the fire had turned to smoke. By evening, it was ash. I'll start the business next month, he'd say, when I have more money saved. I'll write the book next year, he'd promise himself, when I have more time. I'll join the gym on Monday, he'd decide, after I finish this series. His friends stopped asking about his plans. His family stopped believing his promises. Even Daniel himself knew the truth, though he couldn't admit it out loud. He was a dreamer who would never do. His mother would visit, see the unchanged apartment, the same sticky notes from 6 months ago, and say gently, "Son, dreams without action are just daydreams." Daniel would nod, feel a flash of shame, and then open his laptop to watch videos about successful people. Because watching others succeed was easier than starting himself. Every night, lying in bed, Daniel wrestled with a question that haunted him. Why am I like this? I'm not stupid. I'm not untalented. I have ambition. So why can't I just start? He felt like a Ferrari parked in a garage. All that potential, all that power, but the engine never turned on. One Saturday afternoon, Daniel met his old college roommate, Alex, at a coffee shop. They hadn't seen each other in 2 years. Alex looked different, confident, alive, energized. "So what are you up to these days?" Daniel asked, expecting the usual small talk. Alex smiled. "Remember that app idea I mentioned in college? The one everyone said was stupid?" Daniel nodded. He remembered. He had actually had a similar idea himself, but never pursued it. "I built it," Alex continued. "Launched 6 months ago. We just hit 50,000 users. I quit my job last month to work on it full time." Daniel's coffee suddenly tasted like ash in his mouth. He congratulated Alex, he smiled, he asked questions, but inside, something was breaking. Because Daniel remembered. 2 years ago, he and Alex had been the same. Both had dreams. Both had ideas. Both had potential. The only difference? Alex had started, Daniel had not. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He sat at his desk, staring at his vision board. The same goals from 2 years ago, untouched, unreached, unfulfilled. He opened his journal and wrote the words he had been avoiding for years. "I am not unlucky. I am not waiting for the right time. I am not being strategic. I am just scared. And I've been using planning as an excuse for not starting. The pen shook in his hand as the truth poured out. I'm 27 years old. How many more years will I waste being ambitious but lazy? How many more Alexes will I watch succeed while I stay stuck? He put his head in his hands and whispered the question that would change everything. What am I so afraid of? The next morning, unable to sit still with his thoughts, Daniel drove to the mountains on the edge of the city. He needed air, space, clarity. He started walking up a trail, not really paying attention to where he was going, when he noticed an old man sitting on a rock, adjusting his hiking boots. The man must have been in his 70s, but his eyes were sharp and kind. Starting late? The old man asked, gesturing to Daniel's casual clothes and lack of equipment. I'm not really hiking, Daniel admitted, just walking, thinking. The old man smiled. The best hikes begin with thinking. I'm Robert. Been climbing these mountains for 40 years. They talked. Or rather, Robert asked questions, and Daniel, for some reason, answered honestly. About his dreams, about his inaction, about feeling stuck. Robert listened without judgment, then said something Daniel would never forget. You see that peak? Robert pointed to a distant summit, glowing in the morning sun. Beautiful, isn't it? From here, it looks impossible to reach. You know what most people do? Daniel shook his head. They stand here, admiring it, talking about how wonderful it would be to reach the top. They buy expensive boots. They watch videos of others climbing. They plan which route they'll take. But they never take the first step up the trail. Robert picked up his backpack, heavy, worn, full of gear. Now here's what they don't understand. This backpack, it's heavy, the first mile. It's hard. You sweat, you doubt, you want to go back to your car. But you know what happens if you take that first hard step, then another, then another? The impossible peak starts getting closer, not because it moved, but because you did. Robert looked directly at Daniel. You're not lazy. Lazy people don't have dreams. You're scared. Scared that starting means you might fail. Scared that action will prove you're not as special as you think you are. So you stay in planning mode, where you can still be perfect in your imagination. Daniel felt exposed. How do I stop being scared? Robert laughed. You don't. The fear doesn't go away. You just start anyway. You know what I've learned in 40 years of climbing? He stood up, shouldered his heavy pack. The only difference between dreamers and doers is this. Doers are willing to suck at the beginning. They're willing to be bad, to be slow, to be embarrassed, because they know that starting badly is better than never starting at all. Robert began walking up the trail, then turned back. I'm climbing to the waterfall today. 2 miles up, you're welcome to join me. But here's the rule. No talking about whether you're ready. No asking if you have the right shoes. You either start walking right now, or you go back to your car and keep dreaming. Daniel looked at the trail. It was steep. He wasn't prepared. He didn't have hiking boots. Every excuse rose in his mind. Then he remembered Alex, the vision board, the 2 wasted years. He took 1 step onto the trail, then another. Let's go, Daniel said. Robert smiled. Now you're climbing. The first 10 minutes were brutal. Daniel's legs burned. His lungs screamed. Doubt flooded his mind. I can't do this. I should turn back. I'm not a hiker. But Robert walked ahead, steady and patient, and somehow Daniel kept going. After 30 minutes, something shifted. His breathing found a rhythm. His steps became automatic. He wasn't thinking about the peak anymore. He was just walking. Robert called back. You're doing the first mile principle. What's that? Daniel asked, breathing hard. Most people quit in the first mile because that's when it's hardest. Your body resists, your mind makes excuses. But if you can push through just the first mile, you build momentum. And momentum makes the second mile easier. They reached the waterfall 2 hours later. Daniel stood there, sweating, tired, but feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Pride, not in planning, not in dreaming, but in doing. That night, Daniel sat at his desk. His body ached from the hike, but his mind was clear. He opened his laptop, not to watch videos, not to plan, but to do. He created a document, titled it, My Book, First Draft, and he wrote, not perfectly, not beautifully, but he wrote 200 words, that's all, but they were real. The next day, he wrote 200 more words. His inner critic screamed, "This is terrible. You're not ready. Learn more first." But he remembered Robert's words. Doers are willing to suck at the beginning. So he kept writing, badly, slowly, imperfectly. Day 3, 200 words. Day 7, 300 words. Day 14, his first chapter, rough, messy, but complete. Something interesting happened. Once he started the book, starting other things became easier. He signed up for the gym. Not next month, that day. His first workout was embarrassing. He could barely lift the weights. But he went back the next day. He outlined his business idea, not perfectly, not completely. But he started researching, taking the first small steps. 3 months later, Daniel met Alex again. This time, Daniel had something different to say. I started my book. It's not done, but I have 15,000 words. I've been going to the gym every morning, and I'm working on that business idea we used to talk about. I'm building the first prototype. Alex's face lit up. Daniel, that's amazing. What changed? Daniel smiled. I stopped planning to start. I just started, badly, but I started. My friend, Daniel's story is your story. My story, the story of anyone who has ever felt the painful gap between ambition and action. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Your dreams don't care about your plans. Your goals don't care about your vision boards. The universe doesn't reward intention, it rewards action. Remember 3 things. First, you don't need to be ready. You need to start. Readiness is a myth. It's a trap that keeps you safe and stuck. Every successful person you admire started before they were ready. They started scared. They started unprepared. But they started. Second, the first mile is always the hardest. Your brain will scream at you to stop. That's normal. That's not a sign you should quit. That's a sign you're exactly where every successful person has been. Push through the first mile, and momentum will carry you through the second. Third, sucking at the beginning is not failure. It's the price of admission. You're not supposed to be good on day 1. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Bad action beats perfect inaction every single time. So here's what I want you to do. Stop watching this video and do something, anything, toward your biggest dream. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you're ready. Open a document, send an email, make a phone call, do 1 push-up, write 1 sentence, take 1 step. It doesn't matter if it's small. It doesn't matter if it's imperfect. What matters is that you move from dreaming to doing. Because here's the secret. You're not ambitious, but lazy. You're ambitious, but scared. And the only cure for fear is action. The moment you take that first step, even if it's tiny, even if it's messy, you become a different person. You become someone who does, and once you're someone who does, everything changes. If this story kicked you into action, give this video a like and share it with someone who's stuck in the planning phase. Drop a comment right now telling me, what's the one action you're taking today? Not tomorrow, today. I'll reply to as many as I can. And if you want more stories that push you to act instead of dream, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be back with another story. Until then, remember Robert's wisdom. The only difference between dreamers and doers is one step. Take it now.